This is Nationwide, reaching you on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Lami Ali. You're welcome. Condemnations have continued to trail the travel restrictions placed on some African countries as the ongoing 24th General Assembly of the UNWTO over the emergence of Omicron COVID-19 variants. Leading the way in his opening address is the Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez. Anthony Forson reports.
Since the General Assembly got underway, attention was concentrated on travel restrictions or ban handed down some African countries in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. More worrisome is the discovery of the latest variant called Omicron, coming down heavy on nations that have shut their borders to African countries. Pedro Sanchez insists it is not the solution to the pandemic.
Global vaccination, safe mobility, and unity of international actions are three crucial steps to be able to achieve that recovery for tourism activity, but it's a crucial industry for our economies.
But confidence is fragile. Consumers are weary of restrictions that continue to change erratically. There is pent-up demand for travel, but dramatic actions taken by governments make travellers more cautious. And closing frontiers does not work. This virus does not respect borders.
With these submissions, Nigeria's Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says Africa is not being treated fairly, hence the need for vaccine liberation.
I'm glad that the Prime Minister of Spain this morning in his address reiterated the same thing, that we should put less emphasis on travel bans because this virus knows no barrier. It knows no frontier, and that the only effective solution to mitigate the impact of this pandemic on the tourism industry and to revive the industry is to ensure that everybody is vaccinated. You recall that in my submission yesterday, I insisted that it's not fair that Africa would enjoy, as we speak today, less than 5% vaccination.
At a ministerial roundtable on innovation in rural tourism, countries took turns to narrate incentives put in place to promote rural tourism. Lai Mohammed enumerated the giant strides of the Nigerian government in supporting young entrepreneurs, as well as policies that are designed to promote the creative industry, which is Nigeria's biggest selling point.
I was glad today that when I was asked to speak on how we responded to the COVID-19 pandemic, that really Nigeria, was on the right track. And as for innovation, which is another issue we discussed today, I was quite very proud to report that Nigeria has invested about $600 million in conjunction with the AFDB for innovation and technology for the creative industry.
Place and dates of the 25th session of the United Nations World Tourism Organization General Assembly is being awaited. In Madrid, Spain, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 has reviewed Nigeria's international travel protocols in a bid to further reduce the risk of importation and exportation of COVID-19 variants of concern. In the revised protocols released by the PSC's chairman and secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, all passengers arrive in Nigeria must provide evidence of COVID-19 PCR test done within 48 hours before departure. Inbound passengers must also take a post-arrival day 2 COVID-19 PCR test, while those who are unvaccinated or partially vaccinated must self-isolate for 7 days after arrival and take an exit COVID-19 PCR test on day 7. For travelers living in Nigeria, they must produce valid evidence of full vaccination against COVID-19, including negative PCR test results obtained within 48 hours to the time of boarding. The SGF notes that the revised protocols, which take effect from 5th of November 2021, are based on science, national experience and global developments. Boss Mustafa urges all Nigerians to get fully vaccinated and continue to comply with all public health measures. Now, cybercrime is not limited to the banking and security sectors, but the judicial and legislative arms as well, which is why the 7th edition of the National Security Advisor Sensitization in Cybercrime focuses on these two arms of government. The reports.
The component part of the strategy, what we're doing, and how to go about implementing it. That's the first.
Knowing the tactics of hackers and the workings of the cyberspace will help judicial officers deliver judgments from an informed position and with speed. For the Office of the National Security Advisor, the sensitization workshop will help legislators make proper laws that can stem cybercrimes as they utilize time and resources.
The Judiciary and the National Assembly have crucial roles to play in addressing the myriads of challenges confronting the cyberspace through legislative responsibilities, interpretation of the law, and proper administration of criminal justice as it affects cybersecurity and cybercrimes in Nigeria.
Amendment of the Cybercrime Act or legislation is a key component of this item. Then the enactment and harmonization of new and existing legislations. So these are things that concerns directly the National Assembly and the judiciary.
The benefits go beyond only enriching the legal system, but committing all the arms of government to be involved in the fight against cybercrime, as well as ensuring that judicial and legislative bodies build defenses against hacking as they go digital in their operations.
It is my hope that this sensitization workshop will ensure a synergy between the organizers, the judiciary, and the National Assembly in the pursuit and achievement of the objectives of the national policy.
The sensitization workshop, which is the 7th in the series, is expected to ensure the implementation of the reviewed cybersecurity policy and strategy document.
Meanwhile, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says many of the security challenges in the country will be resolved in due course and thus the country will be stronger and greater. This was the declaration by the Vice President while receiving on a courtesy call the Muhammadu Buhari and Osinbajo Dynamic Support Group as the presidential villa. Welcoming the group, Vice President Osinbajo commended the support from stakeholders outside governments, such as the MBO Dynamic Support Group, stating that it is important to recognize that when different kinds of challenges are being faced, the government itself requires support and help from support groups, friends, colleagues and others committed to the ideals of the administration. Vice President Osinbajo urged the group not to relent in ensuring that members keep to the ideals of the country and do not lose sight of what the government is trying to achieve. The Vice President explained that the President has always remained steadfast and focused on resolving the problems of the country, beginning with security. Vice President Osinbajo stressed the need for the country to remain united, noting that the people who suggest that the country breaks up, whatever may be the reason for their views, are certainly not correct, and these, the Vice President Osinbajo says, must be made known to them at every turn. Leader of the MBO Dynamic Support Group, Usman Ibrahim, praised the Vice President's commitment and leadership in promoting a united Nigeria and for the development of the country.
Talking to in the planet of this one, because I can give you, last week I went to Cotonou, I priced the pure water 17 naira while pure water is 5 naira and 10 naira. So Nigeria is more better than anywhere in terms of economy. And in terms of security, it's a phenomenon. Some people have the nature of disaster and everything, something of that nature. We are good to go with this. Inshallah, God will make this one go away.
Ibrahim pledged the loyalty and support of members of the group for the actualization of the objectives of the Buhari administration. Now, a coalition of civil society organizations is pushing for electoral reforms and presidential assent to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2021, which will set the 2023 general elections on sound footing. The groups made their appeal during a solidarity rally at the Unity Fountain in Abuja. Mie Ogidi reports.
A dawn at the Unity Fountain, Abuja. A promising day hosting promising youths. This is their dream picture. Hoping Mr. President will soon dot the lines with the red pen on the 2021 electoral bill.
We commend the President for seeking the opinion of INEC and the opinion of other institutions. We have no doubt whatsoever that INEC is prepared to monitor direct primaries in Nigeria. INEC is prepared to implement every provision of the Electoral Act. Therefore, we are urging Mr. President for him not to waste any time, for him to sign this bill.
We've seen what happened with the beavers in Anambra, so we want to see more of that progress because that's how the country develops it. So it's about strengthening democracy.
A prayer not yet answered, but what everyone must do in case the prayer is answered, already set out.
This work of educating the people about the new law, which is the Electoral Act, must begin earnestly. And INEC too must have the time, political parties must have the time to meet the deadlines and the new timelines in this new Electoral Act.
Task set out. 17th December is Mr. President's birthday, and on a lighter note, they said, signing it on December 17th, a great birthday gift. This is cheerful, point made, rally dismissed. Mie Ogede, NT News.
And collation of inputs to review obsolete labor laws, which started in 2005 but suffered many setbacks, is set to be concluded by members of the tripartite labor constituents. Minister of Labor and Employment Chris Ngige, leading the process, said labor bills will be validated at the meeting and sent to the Federal Executive Council, after which the Attorney General of the Federation will transmit same to the National Assembly for passage. Emmanuel Anyimiru reports.
Labour Minister says harmonization and validation of obsolete labor laws underscores the federal government commitment to fulfilling its obligations as member state of the International Labour Organization, thereby ensuring best practices in labour administration for all. To align with current ILO principles for better working experiences, several acts are to be repealed.
The bills we are talking about are the Labour Standard Bills to repeal the Labour Act, Cap L1, Law of the Federation 2004. The Collective Labour Relations Bill to repeal the Trade Union Act. We also have the Occupational Safety and Health Bill to repeal the Old Factories Act or the Present Factories Act.
For social partners, unions are united in their commitment to having human-friendly labor laws.
We must continue to play the radio role of making sure that our laws are in conformity with the ILO conventions that we have ratified.
As a member of the International Labour Organization, we hope that henceforth all ratified conventions of the organization will all be obeyed.
The paramount purpose of this is to create an enabling environment and a good workplace relationship between all the actors in industrial relations and the parties involved also.
Between 1960 and now, Nigeria is said to have ratified 40 of the ILO conventions, while many more are still expected. Emmanuel Anyimiru, NTA News.
Now, the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria is soliciting the assistance of National Broadcasting Commission in the areas of debt waiver and content regulation. Adebola Brooksland Sunday reports that this came up when the chairman of the organization, John Ube, led other executive members to the nation's broadcasting regulator in Abuja.
And then the other one was on collaboration with bond. I think bonds Bond is worried that there's been a decline in the collaboration of late. So we believe that if members are not allowed to pay installmentally, especially with the economic situation in the country, that this could threaten a lot of the businesses and in turn the licenses, as the NBC has.
It's an offense to operate a station that has no license. Failure to pay the license fee means that license doesn't even exist. So I hope you are going to talk to your people to know the importance of paying this license fee.
The regulator and operators agreed to go back to the drawing board and factor out modalities that will be win-win for both parties and reconvene at a later date. Time now to join Adiola in Lagos for more on Nationwide. Hi, Adiola.
Hello, Lami. Sharing values, trust, and the ability to understand one another have been identified as factors to build better relationships in Nigeria. These are the submissions of stakeholders at the Southwest Zone Citizens Summit for National Integration, Peace and Security in Lagos. Imola Yotokede Ogunfuwora has details.
The prevalent general insecurity in the country has widened the trust gap, weakened relationship, and fueled misunderstanding among the various component units of the nation. This is why the Nigerian Institute for Public Relations organized this summit as an avenue for conversation on national integration.
The people cry of marginalization and exclusion in decision making on critical issues affecting them as a people.
The biggest endowment that this country is blessed with is our diversity. Because our diversity is supposed to be our source of strength, yet we have turned it into a source of cost.
So we need to know what our opportunities are, even with our difficulties and with the problems. Because it is when you do that, thankfully, you can start seeing that your problems are solved.
The governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, emphasized that conflicts are better resolved through dialogue and not violence.
To reduce the intensity of conflict, a social compact must be forged between the citizens and the government. We must recognize and admit that there are no differences that cannot be resolved through dialogue, negotiation, and conflict resolution.
Panelists also identified access to justice as the path to peace. It is hoped that this summit, which has gone round geopolitical zones of the country, will midwife the peaceful future Nigeria deserves amid threats and security challenges in the country. In Lagos, Imole Ayotukide Ogunfuwora, NTA News.
Journalism entails a high degree of public trust. To earn and maintain this trust, it is morally imperative for practitioners and other news medium to observe the highest professional and ethical standards. This is the submission of the presentation of speakers at the Southwest Town Hall meeting organized by the Nigerian Guild of Editors. Remains a fundamental pillar of democracy in upholding good governance by holding government accountable. The media is also responsible for building the confidence of citizens to make informed choices in democratic process. United States Ambassador to Nigeria encouraged the media to continue to advocate fundamental human rights and freedom.
When you uncover stories that others have tried to hide or deny, inevitably prosecutions can follow and accountability is attained through the voice of the people at the ballot box.
Senior Advocate of Nigeria and former Chairman African Bar Association, Femi Falana, challenged the media to keep engaging government, hold it accountable and responsible.
And I do hope that the Guild of Editors will learn from the US while the United States of America will also learn from Nigeria.
We are supposed to report all sides. Let the viewers, let the readers
let the listeners decide who is right or who is wrong.
The meeting, expected to hold in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, is funded by the United States of America Embassy in Nigeria to facilitate activities aimed at strengthening the capacity of members of the Guild of Editors to understand, appreciate, and deliver on their constitutionally assigned responsibilities. One of Nigeria's foremost pharmaceutical companies is set to introduce more affordable pharmaceutical products to the markets. This was disclosed at the 25th Janasid Silver Anniversary and Award Ceremony. Lynn Lenake has details of the colorful event in Lagos.
Dana Pharmaceuticals Limited has had a visible presence in Nigeria for over years, operating with state-of-the-art plants that serve the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. With a commitment to healthcare and an unwavering commitment at affordable prices for over 25 years, Dana is not oblivious of the support of marketers, distributors, and medical professionals. These informed the awards in various categories, where winners emerged based on their purchasing power.
Without being having or getting much or maybe selling much of it, I cannot attain the number 1. So Dana Seed has been a very wonderful antacid that most people use and get rid of what they want.
Managing Director, Dana Pharmaceutical Company Limited, noted that despite the COVID-19 pandemic setback, the company is set to consolidate on the gains of 2021.
Way back in 1996, there was always a demand. There's always been a demand in Nigeria for health products, for medicinal products, for antacids. And maybe because of our nature of work, some of us tend to skip our meals, which is when probably you would need an acidity regulator tablet or an antacid. We're going to be distributing syringes very soon across the country also and add more range of products in the months to come.
Danaseed is a leading household name in the antacid segment, providing effective soothing relief from heartburn and peptic ulcer, among others. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
It's now time for us to take a break, but when we return, it's back to Lami in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you for staying tuned. The National Conference of Vehicle Inspection Officers is calling for more legal backing to the operations of the agency to ensure greater safety of lives and property on Nigerian roads. This is part of the communique at the end of its annual conference on enforcement of traffic laws across the country held in Abuja. Abubakar Usman Akwanga has the story.
The rise of the statistics of auto crash on Nigerian roads is one of the major challenges, bringing critical stakeholders on road traffic management under one roof to find lasting solutions to the issues.
All states will commence certification of riders and issuance of rider certificate cards with immediate effect to stem the rise of insecurity and safety issues associated with motorcycle and tricycle operations in the country.
This time, the Conference of Vehicle Inspection Officers is concerned about strengthening existing legal frameworks to effectively carry out its statutory mandate, leveraging on digital infrastructure.
That all states of the Federation and FCT should invest on information technology infrastructure towards automating theoretical drivers, testing procedures, computerized-based tests, and establish system handshake with tripartite arrangement between the road traffic officers, Board of Internal Revenue, and Federal Road Safety in their platform for a seamless transfer of qualified applicants for biometrics capturing.
Stakeholders agree that the United Nations Decade of Action from 2020 to 2030 of achieving 15% reduction in auto crash may not be visible without personnel training, compliance with traffic regulations, and adequate funding of the agency. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Now, persons with disability are advocating the protection of their fundamental human rights and inclusion in governance as they commemorate the International Day of Persons with Disability. Elizabeth Omorui had a chat with some of them.
A UN survey reveals that more than 1 billion people or 15% of the world's population, live with some forms of disability, and 80% live in developing countries. The observance of the day was proclaimed in 1992 by the United Nations General Assembly Resolution, Section 47, Subsection 3, to promote the rights and well-being of persons with disabilities in all spheres. Donald Unanka, a graduate of business administration, says despite the myriads of challenges confronting persons with disabilities, he scaled through the hurdles of life.
Institutional barriers that prevent us from being included in society. The problems are many. What we are advocating for today is to ensure that the law is properly domesticated and every aspect of society begin to, implement and follow the law.
Lack of support from society and family and victimization, they say, pose grave threats to their existence.
They need good health care, just like any other person. But overall, they need training in skill acquisition.
Instead of pitying us, give us empathy, help us.
They used the occasion to call on government to assist in ensuring that the 5-year transitional plan for structures be modified to aid movement. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NT News.
And from Rivers State comes the report that Governor Nyesom Wike has presented a budget of 483 billion naira to the State House of Assembly for the year 2022. The 2022 budget estimate is 47 billion naira more than that of 2021 appropriation, which is expected to focus on completing existing projects.
Hard work and commitment to the common interest, we can accelerate our transformation for the benefit of all. Thank you, and may God continue to bless our dear River State as I lay the 2022 budgetary proposal for River State before this Honorable House for your consideration and approval.
Christened the budget of consolidation, the 2022 budget estimate is made up of a recurrent expenditure of 144 billion naira, while the capital expenditure is projected as the sum of 314 billion naira. The budget is predicated on an oil benchmark of $50 per barrel at a production rate of 1.7 million barrels per day, with an estimated exchange rate of 410 naira to a dollar. Now, legislations that will complement the federal government's drive to ensure the stability of the country's economy are underway by the Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions. The process has begun with a retreat to identify issues responsible for the country's economic crisis and high rates of unemployment. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports.
It was a two-day forum aimed at consolidating the efficiency of the country's asset recovery processes and promotion of an effective supervision framework in the Nigerian banking sector.
Because of those cases hanging in court, these assets depreciate and we're unable to realize them. So many factors came up that affected the recovery effort, even the contribution effort.
What led to the creation of AMCON was largely the absence of good risk management practices within the banks.
The committee resolved to draw the attention of the Senate to the need to publish names of the individuals that are owing 51% of AMCON loan amounting to more than 4 trillion naira. It also resolved to push for legislative intervention for speedy dispensation of legal matters involving financial litigations.
Those people are highly placed Nigerians. They try to frustrate AMCON effort through judiciary, and that is what we're looking at.
There's a need to bring the judiciary to a better understanding of not just the mandate of AMCON, but the practice and procedure.
The committee chairman assured of the commitment to strengthen interagency collaboration with the financial regulatory bodies on exceptional financial situations. In Abuja, Abdullahi Aminu, NTN.
Nana Aisha is standing by in our Sokoto Network Center with trending stories from that end. Over to you, Nana.
Well, welcome everyone.
Welcome to Sokoto. The Ultra-Model Diagnostic Medical Center for Farum, constructed by the Sokoto State Government, has inaugurated by Governor of Delta State, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, at an elaborate ceremony. Dalhatu Abdullahi reports that the construction of the center cost the state government about 3.2 billion naira.
The Advanced Diagnostic Medical Center will provide radio diagnostic and laboratory services, CT and MRI scanners, fluoroscopy, echocardiography, mammography, X-ray, dental, ear, nose, and throat, as well as eye care services, among others. Inaugurating the facility, the Governor of Delta State, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, advocated for a health insurance policy that can provide healthcare services to all Nigerians, particularly the low-income earners.
There are some of our people that may not be able to afford the services here. So there is a need for us to think of how to ensure that none is left behind if they require the services in this center.
Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol said the center is designed to provide all manner of medical investigations to the people and would be run under the public-private partnership arrangement.
We'll be coming up with a fund where the government will contribute, members of the business community and well-meaning Nigerians can contribute to subsidize the services that are going to be rendered to indigent people at this center.
Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar said Sokoto State Government is doing the right thing by making healthcare among its top priorities and called for accessibility and affordability of the medical services at the diagnostic center. The center is expected to provide high-quality healthcare services to the people from within and outside the state. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
The need for public health providers to shift from identifying diseases to eliminating them has been stressed. Dalhatu Abdullahi reports that the Delta State Governor, Ifeanyi Okowa, threw the challenge in his keynote address at the opening of the National Medical Association Executive Council meeting held in Sokoto.
The National Executive Council meeting of the Nigerian Medical Association is coming at a time when health matters continue to be critical to national and global socio-economic development due to emergence and re-emergence of infectious diseases of serious concern. It is a forum that offers the professionals opportunity to discuss on the critical contemporary global health challenges and design possible responses. Records show that Nigeria, like other parts of the global community, had experienced 8 infectious diseases outbreaks in the last 7 years. At global level, Lassa fever and Ebola are yet to be eliminated, while health experts are still battling on the cure and preventive measures against COVID-19 with its re-emerging variants.
We are still challenged in many states. How many states still have enough oxygen plants to provide oxygen for dying patients?
We have to make sure that all of our healthcare services are looked into through the eye lens of a lawyer.
I encourage each and every one of you to see it as a collective assignment.
There is a need for continuous community engagement, social mobilization, and communication for effective prevention and control of these diseases.
Decisive approaches are therefore required to address the emerging health challenges as researchers continue to provide hope for the survival of the global population.
I pray that what you are going to gain from this interaction will be used judiciously to the best of your ability as professionals.
Adequate funding, proper release of funds, strengthening of public-private partnership, and active public response can change the negative indices for the better. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Well, thank you for joining us here in Sokoto. Nationwide continues with Lami in Abuja.
Many thanks, Nana. Ambassador of the Republic of South Korea to Nigeria, Kim Yong-chae, has advocated strengthening of bilateral relations between Nigeria and his country. This was when he paid a courtesy visit to the House of Representatives. National Assembly correspondent Dayo Gunshola reports.
The visiting ambassador of the Republic of Korea, Kim Yong-chae, and his team were at the Nigerian House of Representatives to further broaden bilateral engagements on how his country can further tap from the enormous potentials of Nigeria.
We want to see mutual exchange between our two national assemblies so that we need to know each other. You mentioned the 5 objectives, and then it is one of my jobs.
Members of the Nigerian-Korean Parliamentary Friendship Group in the House of Representatives who hosted the ambassador explained that the inauguration of the group by the Speaker, House of Representatives, was premised on strengthening robust relations with the Republic of South Korea in areas of mutual interest.
To liaise with the Embassy of the Republic of Korea in Nigeria to establish and sustain relationship between the parliamentary group and the National Assembly of the Republic of Korea.
Talk about local content development. That is how well, as much as possible, we can transfer this technology to our people here in the country. If we have assembly plants for most of the products, we tend to learn trade.
The group in the House of Representatives is optimistic that going forward, more capacity development will be achieved for Nigerian youths from the National Assembly. Dayo Gunshola, NTA News.
Health matters now. The eye is referred to as the mirror of the body. It is a delicate organ, and that is why serious attention is paid to its care. The big question is how many Nigerians understand the delicate nature of the eye and follow proper procedure in correcting refractive errors. Uche Gochukwu in this report not only seeks answers to this, but highlights efforts by the body mandated to ensure healthy sight for Nigerians.
In Nigeria, findings show that at least 4 out of 10 persons patronize unqualified practitioners to obtain lenses, especially in correcting or managing refractive errors.
I went to the market to get the glass I'm wearing because I had a little issue with my eye.
Yeah, I just stepped to a shop where they sell glasses, but I think it's necessary for me because of using computers and
this practice, eye caregivers say, is responsible for many complications which have resulted in blindness or other serious damages to the eye.
If you have an eye defect, it means that the lens that is inside your eye has a defect, and then it's the lenses outside that helps to correct that defect inside. Now, because of that, the technical nature of it, you will have to be precise in whatever you are doing. That is why an eye test is required, first of all, by a professional.
To correct this ugly trend as mandated by the Federal Ministry of Health and ensure Nigerians have healthy vision, the Optometrist and Dispensing Opticians Registration Board of Nigeria, in collaboration with the Nigeria Police, visited some areas in Abuja identified as hubs for quackery in the profession.
They are still inside this market doing eye tests. They're supposed to do. Even though that are facing lenses, they are quacks. They go there and cut lenses upside down. Some even cut turn lenses upside down. Segment tight and all those optical centers, it's not there.
Research has shown that refractive errors like myopia, hypermetropia, presbyopia, and astigmatism could be corrected by spectacles effectively handled by professionals. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
And another link beacons this time around. It is Benin, and we have Ugochukwu Ka standing by. Hello, Ugochukwu. It's over to you.
Lalami, thank you for joining us. Families of the slain policemen killed during the attack of Afuze Divisional Police Station by hoodlums in March 2019 have been presented with checks of 1 million naira each. The Commissioner of Police, Philip Ogbadu, made the presentation on behalf of the state government at the headquarters of the State Police Command in Benin City. Goodluck Enaini reports.
Stepping into the command reminds these dependents of the murdered police officers how their breadwinners sacrificed their lives while securing their fatherland. It became an emotional moment as they were ushered into the office of the police commissioner as tears rolled down the faces of the families of the bereaved. CP Ogbadu, who recalled the sad incident in which the DPO and 3 other officers were killed, said the disbursement of checks is the pledge the state governor made when he visited in March 2019.
Mr. Godwin Obaseki visited the station then and promised to rebuild the station and pay compensation to the families.
For the beneficiaries, the gesture is applauded.
The governor that put us in mind to giving us 1 million for the support. I appreciate him.
But this is just an opportunity for me to beg the federal government that they should do something. They kill her on her duty post with 7-month pregnancy.
CP Ogbadu wished them well and prayed against any repeat of such calamity. In Benin, good luck in Aini, NT News.
And now talking agriculture, cocoa farmers in Ondo State want the federal government to intervene and avert the threats by the European Union commodity market to ban cocoa beans from Nigeria. Toyin Batire reports that the farmers are committed to the production of quality cocoa beans for both local and international markets.
Cocoa remains one of the viable agricultural products from Nigeria, which has over the years contributed largely to the nation's gross development product. Ondo State is the largest producer of the cash crop, with both subsistence and large-scale farmers committed to the cultivation of the crop in Owena, Idonre, Ondo, Ile-Oluji, and other communities. The threat by the European Union commodity market to ban the product from Nigeria is raising major concerns among stakeholders.
What they said we should do is what we are doing. I see no reason why any other country, why any country should say they will not take our cocoa. We that will be farmer.
We farmers bring the produce from our various farms to the marketers, who in turn take it to the factory where it is expected to be sorted to ensure that it meets international standard before exporting.
Meanwhile, the Cocoa Revolution and Management Agency of the Ondo State government notes that the agency and farmers have engaged in a series of interactions to avert the EU threat.
It's not that Nigerian cocoa quality is poor, it's high, but then we still need to improve, to do more than we have been doing. The farmer unions too, they can form together into groups and purchase the needed agrochemicals so that their farmers could get access to it. Frankly speaking, it is this area of chemicals that the default is coming from.
Experts further urge Nigerian farmers to have more technical know-how and increase their production level for Nigeria to regain a ranking as the second largest producer of cocoa in the world. In Akure, Toyin Batire, NT News.
Amina will be coming up from Kaduna with the next set of reports, but that will be after this break.
Servants in Kaduna State are now to work from home on Friday. This is in line with the 4-day working week declared by the state government. Haruna Mohammed has a situation report.
This is the first time of Kaduna State, the usual hustle and bustle associated with this secretariat, which houses many ministries, departments and agencies of the state government, are absent.
The ambience in public offices says it all. Friday is now a work-free day for civil servants in Kaduna State.
It's a very good and welcoming development. It's a very good initiative. It's going to go a long way for people to work from home on Fridays. From Monday to Thursday is a good time for us to work. We can achieve whatever we want to achieve within the period of Monday to Thursday.
It's a good initiative to help further stop spread of COVID-19.
A lot of people, that Friday, that is the beginning of what? Their business.
The state government says the measure is designed to boost productivity, improve work-life balance, and enable workers have more time for their families, as well engage in agriculture. Meanwhile, schools and health facilities in the state are not affected by the development. In Kaduna, Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
Integrating tannery waste with energy-producing technologies will effectively solve waste management problems and boost revenue generation in Nigeria. This forms part of the submissions at a one-day sensitization seminar in Kano on sustainable tannery waste management through conversion of waste to biogas for electricity generation, heat, and organic manure. Awal Salisu reports.
Nigeria has more than 40 functional tanneries with total capacity of managing 25.5 million skins and more than 300,000 hides per annum. However, majority of these industries do not have the technical capacity to manage their waste in an environmentally responsible manner. The sensitization seminar, which brought together stakeholders from tannery industries in Kano, is to intimate them on the multiple opportunities that abound in sustainable tannery waste management through conversion of waste to biogas for electricity generation, heat, and organic manure.
Biodigester within the premises that we use to treat the waste to produce biogas, which in turn they can use to produce electricity.
We are part of this. We are very supportive of this initiative, and Kano State Government is ready to provide all the necessary support that is needed for this to succeed.
Alhaji Safianu Baba is one of the participants who described the gathering as a clear demonstration of government's commitment through its organs to support businesses by creating an enabling environment for them to grow and prosper.
I know some companies that pay up to 100 million naira, over 100 million naira in a month electricity bill. Now, when you have this kind of charity, I think it's a welcome development.
Safianu and his likes believe that efforts such as these will not only improve the economic condition of the country, but also aid the sustainable development of human society. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to Lami in Abuja.
Many thanks, Amina. A 93-page book titled Teardrops of a Widow has been unveiled in Abuja. Francis Form reports that the book is written to bring to the fore hardships usually faced by widows after the demise of their husbands.
A minute's silence in honor of the author's husband and other fallen heroes in the line of duty. Death is an inevitable end to mankind, while widowhood is a sad chapter in the history of women. However, no woman desires to be in this unpleasant situation. This 6-chapter book narrates the experiences, highlighting the resilience of a widow and her own process of transiting into becoming for the family what her loved one used to be without her having prior experience or training.
What is important is that widows must be emotionally and psychologically supported through this period.
Our gathering at this event is symbolic as we uplift the widows of our fallen heroes by wiping away their tears.
We shall not be tired of having thoughts that consider the feelings of others in their daily activities.
Author of the book and a widow to one of the fallen heroes who could not hold back her tears, speaks on the reason behind writing this emotion-laden academic work.
The sunshine has melted to me, the shock of losing my beloved one. And if we really want to honor our heroes, then we must make sure that their families are well catered for long after they are gone.
Unveiled by the governor of Gombe State, the book no doubt serves as a light for widows seeking some level of fortitude after the transition of their loved ones. Francis from NTA News.
And President Muhammadu Buhari sends condolences to the family of former Senate President Joseph Wise on the passing of the legislator, whose influence and contributions to Nigeria's democracy remain indelible. In a statement, the president notes the sacrifices of Wise, who started taking up leadership responsibilities at an early age, turning a Senate president at 38 and remaining a vibrant and dynamic man, mentoring leaders long after he retired from politics. President Buhari joins the National Assembly, government and people of Cross River State, his friends and associates in mourning the loss, believing his legacies will be approximated for posterity. The president prays that his soul will find rest with the Lord. And the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has condoled the family of former Senate President Joseph Wise, who died on Thursday. He described the death of Senator Wise as a great loss for Nigeria, saying he was a great lawmaker and political leader who served Nigeria and Nigerians with dedication and integrity. And that's it on Nationwide for today. We thank you for watching. Remember to always join the ATA in the fight against rape and rapists. I am Lami Ali.